Muy buenas, ¿qué tal? Estamos aquí, volvemos en Sherlock Holmes y vamos a continuar justo donde lo dejamos. Músico en apuros, un profesor de música local ha estado colgando carteles. Escaladio. Cerca de la Catedral de San Clemente. Escaladio. Catedral de San Clemente, de acuerdo. Eh, Vale. Pues vamos por aquí. A ver.
Extra, extra! Elephant adopted! Again! The killer elephant Goliath has been adopted by Fergus Tailheart and can breed on Cordona. Interested in some Cordona news?
Sí.
Check the front page. You won't regret it.
Eh, Aquí. Mm, Golita, será Goliath, estará satisfecho. Y ejecuten a la criatura, no quiero. O sea, el hijo de puta... Fue el hijo de puta del tal Paul. O sea, es que se ve... Oh, violín. Vale. A ver. Professor Road al norte de Adler Street. Adler Street. Professor Road.
Refresh your interior. Pick what you like.
Ya, bueno. Ah, por cierto, sí, farmeé un poquito. Nada, hice una vez una guardia de bandidos más. Y utilicé el dinero que tuve... ¿Una o dos? No me acuerdo.
This house seems so familiar. I'm having deja vu. This house seems so familiar.
Pero espérate. No se me ha activado... ¿Esto? Ahora que lo he restaurado me pregunto si hará que afloren algunos recuerdos. Ah, le dispararon antes, creo yo. Bueno, esta casa, o sea, sí me resulta familiar, pero... Pero no, o sea, no... Oh, aquí.
Greetings. Would you be here about my violin by any chance?
I am. I saw from your posters that it was stolen. The name is Sherlock Holmes.
Very pleased to meet you, Mr. Holmes. I'm Anthony Jones. But by the sounds of it, you haven't seen my instrument, alas. But if there's anything you can do to help locate it, I'd be most glad.
Just tell me exactly what happened. How was your violin stolen?
Some needy soul broke into my home while I was out. The only thing of value they took was the instrument.
Did you report the theft to the police?
I did, but they dismissed it as petty theft. Don't get me wrong, I don't blame them. They certainly have more important matters to deal with.
It would be another crime if I let some petty thief get away with your beloved violin. Let me help you find it.
Oh, thank you very much. I cannot tell you how grateful I am. Oh, come inside, I'll show you everything. Feel free to look around.
De acuerdo. A ver, ¿qué tengo?
The door was kicked in. This cover is dusty. It hasn't been taken off for a long time.
Ah, o sea, joder, pensaba que era el señor. Digo, hostia, qué velocidad tiene.
The thief left the bow. I suppose he prefers pizzicato. The jagged bottle reeks of cheap whiskey. The scrap of fabric is covered in white stains. Clumsy of a thief to cut himself on the glass he just broke. An utterly useless theft deterrent for a glass display case. Nothing was taken except for the violin. How odd.
Sí, esto tiene pinta de algo personal. Cuando me ha dicho que no habían robado nada más.
These are intricate pieces of music. Quite beautiful if my sight reading holds true. I see you've received many accolades.
Ah, those are from a long time ago. I used to perform a lot in my youth.
Pistas clave conseguidas. No tengo, claro, el palacio de la mente no tengo. Vale, a ver, rastro de sangre. Dejó un rastro de gotas de sangre. Pero análisis químico. Bueno, hace mucho que no juego, no sé si me voy a acordar, de esta mierda. Resta 1 al valor del reactivo. Aumenta en 1 el valor del reactivo. Pues vamos a poner esta aquí. Sacamos esta. Esta la ponemos ahí, ya tenemos. Más simple de lo que pienso. Espérate. No, fuck. No está... Ah, no, sí, espérate. Joder, es demasiado fácil, ¿verdad? No. Claro, soy gilipollas. No. No, 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 eliminar. Ahí sí. Sal y pólvora.
Anything else you'd like to know?
You weren't here when the burglary happened, correct?
I was tending to my wife's grave at the cemetery. I was only gone a few hours and locked the door before leaving.
Does anyone else live here?
No. My dear Emily died long ago. And God never blessed us with children. I used to give music lessons, but nobody visits me anymore.
Vale. Todas las pistas conseguidas. O sea, el ladrón, ¿cómo que dejó un rastro de gotas de sangre? ¿Cómo puedo ver yo el rastro de gotas de sangre? Porque es esto, ¿no? O sea... Claro, tendría que verlo, ¿verdad? Ahí estamos. Ah, para allá. Asesino. Asesino galés, ah, sí, hostia. Acaba aquí. Ajá.
The trail stops here among the waste.
Tú que... Chaval. Hostil. Necesito cambiarme de ropa, ¿verdad? Bueno, ¿le escaneas o qué? Amistoso.
Hello, sir. Would you like some fruit? Fresh from the orchard?
I'm not hungry, but I'm looking for a violin that was stolen. Any chance you saw someone with one?
Oh, yes, I did. It was sailors, sir. And they were very good customers. They ate lots of fruit and said that my donkey looks like their friend. A Lieutenant Sean.
A lieutenant. Did you see where they went?
No, sorry, sir. I was helping other buyers. Oh, and sir, the sailors also took my donkey. So I guess they weren't very good customers. They promised to return him, but they didn't come back. My father will kill me if he finds out. So I'm still waiting here for them.
Do you know Anthony Jones, the musician? He lives nearby.
Of course. Mr. Jones is very kind. He never barters.
La señora haciendo moonwalk de fondo, tío.
I'm yet to crack a smile, so pray tell.
Well, the first time they came by, the sailors mentioned something about music, so I told them Mr. Jones can teach them how to play. Wait, so what is his violin? Oh,
You couldn't have known they would steal from the old man. Fortunately, you made up for it with your testimony. I'll find them and your donkey soon enough. Stay put.
Vale. Entonces... ¿Otros comerciantes de la catedral? Sí. Otros comerciantes. ¿Amistoso? Sí.
Is this familiar to you?
Oh, let me tell you everything I know.
Cerca de una fuente junto a la arcada de la columna. Vale, la arcada... Vale. Es decir... Una
take a
fuente...
look. Try it on. It'll be a nice
Susto me has
purchase.
dado.
We have a large assortment and pleasant prices.
Refresh your interior. Pick what you like.
Quita, niña. Una fuente donde hace un arco. A ver. Tú no puedo hablar con... ¿No?
Come closer and try something on.
Pero tú vendes, ¿verdad? Tú vendes. No quiero comprar. No quiero comprar. Escucha, no.
Of course. Think it over. Take your time.
Excuse me, just one question.
No, I don't know about that. But would you like some tea?
Tampoco vas a saber nada, ¿verdad?
Could you help me?
No, I don't know
Vale.
about that. But would you like some tea?
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what, and dressed as what?
Tiene que ser... ¡Ojo, Claro, el arco de la columna, ojo.
The donkey was
Es
being
aquí.
stubborn, but so were they.
There we are. The first lead in our asinine chase.
Fuente y el arco, de acuerdo.
One of them lost his cap. They certainly bought a lot of fruit from the boy. Fear of scurvy, perhaps?
Aquí ya solo era uno. Eso es el burro, me imagino.
Another bottle of whiskey. Oh, this must be Lieutenant Sean. The sailors couldn't get him inside the tavern.
Don't forget to point the boy to his donkey on our way back.
Good grief. Those drunks are wreaking havoc in there.
Grupo de marineros, vale.
Good grief.
No.
We've got to fall back, Sherlock. I think they're suspicious. Or they were checking you out.
Good grief. Those drunks.
Está sembrando el coso en la taberna y son peligros. No me extraña que tengan miedo de enfrentarse a ellos. Son estos. Aquí, ¿verdad? Adelante.
Wanna kick us out? Like hell.
I'll put you 6 feet under. I'm coming for you.
Don't bother moving.
The snuff's ready.
Do some.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Terribly sorry. No more crime for you.
The snuff's ready.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
Don't bother moving. You
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take this! Take this!
no more crime for you until next month.
The snuff's ready.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Todavía no, joder.
I thought we were against murder.
Le he matado. Le he matado con el retroceso de la pistola,
Well,
tío.
they left me no choice. I think I might be nearing intoxication myself just from the smell of them.
Bueno, pues nada, oye. Vale, a ver. El violín debería estar en la taberna. Ojo,
The maker's stamp suggests it was made by a student of Pressender. Quite a lovely instrument.
And somehow, after all the mayhem, it's still in one piece.
Volvemos. ¿Por dónde se sale? ¿He entrado por aquí? No. Por aquí. Ups. No era mi intención, de verdad, ¿eh? No. Claro, ¿dónde estaba el crío? ¿Dónde estaba el chaval? Por aquí, sí.
I found your donkey. It's not far from here, outside the Wet Whiskers Tavern. You'd better go after it before someone decides to borrow it again.
Thank you, sir. I'll be quick as a flash. Hey, Yusuf, please look after my cart, okay? And don't eat anything. Well, you can have a couple of grapes, but only the small ones.
Well done. I look forward to the beautiful reunion.
A ver. Perdón, excuse me. Vale, por aquí sí.
Here's your violin, Mr. Jones. It might have gained a few nicks and scratches, but considering what it's been through, it's a miracle that it's still in one piece.
God bless you. I am deeply in your debt, Mr. Holmes. The scratches don't matter. They are like scars, each telling a story. It is the sound that matters. Oh, you should hear her sing.
It would be my pleasure.
This melody, Sherlock. Don't you recognize it?
Melodía familiar.
Look up, Sherry. There used to be an attic up there. We used to sneak in from the roof and listen to Mr. Jones play when we were children. You should tell the old man the truth. I think it will mean a lot to him.
Bravo. I'd forgotten how beautiful a violin sounds in the skilled hands of a virtuoso. That melody, it brought back some memories. I have a confession to make, Mr. Jones. As a child, I used to sneak into the attic above this very room and listen to you play. spellbound by the music.
Oh, so that was you. After my wife's death, it was difficult to pick up the violin again. But knowing someone was listening helped me persevere. In fact, a young man like yourself could breathe a second life into this instrument. It's a remarkable outlet for one's emotion. You should have it.
I can't accept that. And, well, I don't play.
It's never too late to learn, Mr. Holmes. The way I see it, the violin chose you. Take good care of her.
A ver, él quería un violín, pero hostia, es
Very glad
suyo.
we helped him.
Pobrecillo. Vale, a ver.
Ah, the best place for reading.
The garden's much prettier, don't you think? I bet the memories are all flooding back now.
Pero ¿dónde deben aflorar los... Hostia. ¿Dónde deben aflorar los recuerdos?
My mother liked the story of David and Goliath. She said it doesn't matter how small you are, you can always overcome any obstacle.
Claro, pero es que yo no sé los recuerdos dónde coño deben aflorar, ¿sabes? Vale.
Ah yes, we were sword fighting in this very spot.
And that time, I was the winner.
So, as your victory prize, you asked me to fulfill a wish. I remember we did something the very next night, John, but what was it? We brought a cage with us. You insisted it must be made of iron.
That's because we were preparing to hunt fairies in our garden. Everyone knows iron is the only thing that can hold them.
And I was distinctly uncomfortable.
It was a disguise, of course. Fairies are easy to scare off, unless you're incognito.
And every trap needs bait. We brought honey and a glass of warm milk.
After 2 hours lying in wait, we noticed movement in the bushes. The fairies appeared at last.
No, it was just Isolde the pig. She was lured by the smell of honey and milk, and ate every last drop. Isolde belonged to Mr. Sim in Miner's End and escaped regularly. At least twice a month we would see him searching for her all over the island.
Sí. Ahora sí que sí. La principal. Espérate. Me estoy dando un momentito, ¿eh? Ahí estamos.
You know, I envy you, Sherry. You can talk to other people and they won't ignore you.
And I envy you. You can ignore any person you're bored with. You don't miss out on much. Most men are dull, unlike yourself.
Well, I'm flattered.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can
Aquí.
I had a surprise for my mother. I was holding an ancient Greek vase, or rather, quite a big piece of it. You had a shovel with you, John. I remember now. We dug up the vase from Greek ruins here on Cordona and were eager to show my mother right away. For some reason, the door was closed. We knocked.
But nobody answered. We thought that she was busy.
So we left the vase and ran downstairs.
Ah, no. ¿Y bajamos corriendo o no?
I decided to gather some archaeological tools in order to take a closer look at the vase.
But then we heard something, didn't we?
Yes. It came from upstairs.
The vase was broken, shards scattered all over the floor. And your mother was standing at the door.
Indeed, John. I doubt it was her. Let me concentrate. Otto Richter was standing there, furious at us. Dr. Richter told us never to disturb my mother when the door is closed. He said she had broken the vase.
But we didn't believe him. I bet he smashed it.
Ojo.
Her things are still here.
Presumably Mycroft never felt the need to sort through it all.
Or couldn't bring himself to.
No. He would have put it behind him and moved on. My brother is not one for sentimentality.
Vale.
Look what I found. The White King is under attack. Sherry, can you save him and checkmate the opponent in one move?
Uf.
Oh, nice move. You saved the king and checkmated the Black King with the rook.
Vale. Volvemos a poner esto.
This room always reeked with an acrid medicinal stench. And here is the reason. Looks like it was damaged by a blunt object.
El señor... Ojo.
It's a strange feeling to read about my father's death in the newspaper. I can't recall anything except the deep feeling of loss.
You were too young. It happened before we even met. It's so sad. I'm sorry.
La trepanación, hostia.
No labels. I doubt it ever had one. There appear to be residues of the bottle's contents at the bottom.
Do you think the doctor could have used these tools here? I hope not.
Hostia. Hostia, chaval.
This picture was drawn by my mother. I recognize her hand. There's a date on it, 8th of December, 1868. This seems a bit odd. I can recognize my mother's style, but it's far too sloppy. Dated 12th of February, 1869. It's difficult to tell what this is meant to represent. There's no date at all. Straps on the bed. Just doesn't look right. Seems this was the most frequently used medication. 1 dram dissolved in a glass of water, administered daily, not to exceed 1 dose in 24 hours, not to be given to children. Oh, it brings back some memories.
Oh, I would love to take a bath right now.
Not this one. Surface corrosion suggests it was prone to extreme temperature fluctuations. For medical purposes, I suppose.
Hostia, eso sí que me ha inquietado bastante, la verdad, ¿eh? Análisis químico. Joder. No. Tú. Tú. Espérate que soy un normal. Segundito. Que claro, si unos gilipollas, pues pasa lo que pasa. Alucinógeno derivado de setas.
Mother was troubled that morning. Something we did upset her. Dr. Richter tried to calm her down. The broken plate shards were all over the floor. Mycroft had to change his suit as the one he was wearing was completely stained. We had to put the tray with Mother's morning tea down, but why? It's starting to ring a bell. I think it happened in the morning.
Espérate. Palacio de la Mente. No. No. ¿Tú eres Mycroft o quién coño eres? No sé, no sé.
You're not even
Ni
trying.
puta idea, no tengo ni puta idea
Concentrate.
aquí. No. Esto no estaban haciendo. Esto es posible que sí. Voy a ver. Como ha dicho que se tuvo que cambiar, voy a ver así.
I don't believe you! Liars! Get away from me! It's not true! It's not real!
What? Oh.
Everything will be okay, Sherry. I promise.
It was the morning of the 9th of April, the day my mother died.
No, mi madre estaba en la comida y le gritó al doctor.
My mother, she was not just ill, but mad. God have mercy.
I'm sorry. That explains why you locked the memory away.
There must be more, John. That was the morning of her death. I need to know what happened. John!
Every time you... I just don't... Please, Sherry, leave it be.
Just breathe, John. You know that I cannot leave the last stone unturned. We are so close.
I know. But can we at least leave it for another day?
Well, history tells us these memories are triggered by our investigation of other matters. I suspect it could not be forced even if I so desired.
Thank you. How are you feeling about all this? Tell me, I'm not the only one reeling.
It feels wrong, sad. Like they're the memories of another man. I'm struggling to reconcile my love for my mother with the reality of who she was. And worse, what possessed Mycroft to lie about it? There are precious few pieces of this puzzle remaining, John. Let us dawdle here no longer.
Indeed. Wait, did you hear that?
Yes. Metallic souls. What is this sailor doing here?
Espérate, la planta. La planta tenía...
My mother loved flowers. They made her smile. I remember we would bring a new bouquet every week to make her a bit happier.
That's why we collected all the violet flowers we could find on the island.
Vale, ahora sí que sí salimos. ¿Quién es usted? Identifíquese y deme una razón para que no le mate.
Sherlock Holmes, isn't it? I was looking for you.
With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
You can call me your new game. The rules are simple. I have something for you, but you alone
Lleva
must
pintura
work
en
out
la...
what that is.
And that something is my prize, I suppose?
You're a fast learner, sir.
Pintura. Pintura rosa en el pelo, ha pintado hace poco. Sin signos de trabajo físico arduo. Un marinero, ¿no?
I cannot believe that Mr. Vogel has somehow successfully called my attention to his gallery. You're here with an invitation to visit it, obviously.
My word, you are fast, Mr. Holmes. Could you explain how you came to that conclusion?
Of course. Explanations are my favorite part of any conversation. Hands without any sign of regular physical activity, in contradiction to one who would most usually wear such a uniform. The paint in your hair is pink. I don't know of any military service that paints their ships pink, unless they have launched a new fashionable fleet. A sailor with the soul of an artist? I would suggest rather a gallery employee disguised as a sailor to mislead me. How many artists on the island know where I live and of my passion for deduction? Werner Vogel is clearly at the top of the list. And you've been attempting to conceal something square-shaped within your pocket. An invitation, I suppose. An invitation to Mr. Vogel's gallery.
That was remarkable, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Vogel was right about your genius. I think he may have even underestimated you. This is your invitation. Please tell Mr. Vogel that the seed has been planted. He asked me to tell you to do so, if you win this little game. Farewell.
Caso nuevo. Cara, tú no puedo hablar contigo, ¿verdad?
You won't believe it, but Werner's other idea was to put me in a dress.
A ver, esperarse. All City, Bazaar Road y Hermes Avenue. All City. Bazaar Road. Hermes Avenue. Pasé por aquí. En el caravanserai, en el cruce de Bazaar Road y... Vale. Tengo que decir que la semilla ha sido plantada. Mira. Ah, no, pensaba... Vale, nada. Caravanserai. Entro sin más. Ah, pues sí.
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific! I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
Vale.
I wish I could show you the gallery under different circumstances.
A ver.
But life is beautiful in its unpredictability, isn't it?
Y baja. Que se va. ¿Por dónde? Exactamente.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry?
Oye, escucha, ¿dónde está la galería baja, tú? Ah, por aquí. Tiene más pinta, sí. Sí, sí, sí.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
A simplistic attempt at provocation.
Se escondió. Mira que le he pensado. Esa, si no ha podido salir ni entrar, es alguien que se escondió. Es alguien que estaba allá dentro. Pero no me imaginaba en un puto ataúd.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. Old, and hasn't been used for a long time. Closed with a metal bolt.
Entró por aquí, este fue el ruido inicial. Limaduras de imán, claro. Y se escondió ahí.
Size 9.5.
Comprendo.
A true artist never shows an unfinished piece. Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately. Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. A Maupau butt. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
Sí, espérate un momento.
The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. Grim composition.
Qué grande.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
Ay, perdón, estornudo. Ay, madre mía, ¿cómo estamos? A ver, señor. ¿What? Esto me cuadra más, ¿eh?
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room, but the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
Si fuera para... Vale, sí.
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Dozens of priceless works amassed simply
No
for the
tengo ni
sake of it
puta
and
idea.
presented without care. It's not about the art, it's about excess, yes?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Vale. Buah. Es conocido. Estamos en la Old City de Aco. Pistas clave conseguidas, pero no todas. Espera, puede ser que... Despreciativa. Vale, a ver.
Mr. Holmes, I have something for you. Mr. Holmes, I see what you're up to. Mysterious stranger pursues betrothed woman. But please, let us keep things professional. I have in my possession an envelope containing details of a special assignment for you. Tell me, are you interested?
I believe I am, but to be very clear, Miss Sertle, my interest extends to the message and not the messenger.
So he claims he's not a gal sneaker, seducing women everywhere he goes. Perhaps the truth is even more scandalous?
Please spare me the speculation and return to the matter at hand.
A gang of smugglers, the Eels, have Cordona in their clammy grip. The British Empire can abide it no longer. Mycroft insists they be disbanded. But this organization only falls with the capture of their odious leader, Friedrich Panzer. And note well, I did say capture, not kill. Inside your envelope is a map marked with the Eels' warehouses. But alas, we do not know in which Friedrich Panzer resides.
So even Mycroft has his limits.
Indeed. You must be sure to identify the correct warehouse before entering. Because once one is compromised, the other's occupants will scatter. Here are all the files, and feel free to use the archive too. Again, do not enter the wrong location, nor see any harm done to Friedrich Panzer.
Miss Sertle, if you're quite done with the redundant instructions, I shall get to work.
Well, that's perfect. Tortured hero lashes out after rejected romance. Tomorrow's edition will be a sensation.
Caso de anguila, vale, espérate, que primero voy a sacar el archivo. Gente, celebridades, periodo. Ahora. Acción, primera. All City. Decadente, Bonifacio Mercurio. Vale, ahí sale la dirección. De acuerdo, espérate un momentito. Que vamos a hacer la caza de anguilas. Hostia. Como un miembro de la banda. William Hart, también conocido como Billy el Feo. Su muerte recientemente ya pasó a la clandestinidad. Su obituario en las noticias recientes de Silverton. Reciente. Obituario Silverton. 29 años, ¿eh? Anuncios. No, porque espérate, esto no tiene símbolo. Esto es una pérdida de tiempo. Perdió el ojo en acto de servicio, un ex militar. No puedo... Ah, sí puedo. Cambiarme, de acuerdo. Pues hay que ponerse uno de matón. El rostro marcado. El pelo tal, vale. Vale, lo vamos a dejar aquí. Espero que os haya gustado. Muchas gracias por estar ahí un día más aguantándome. De momento lo vamos a dejar aquí. Así que lo dicho. Gracias. Y hasta luego.